of art, but at the same time we did not want to relinquish the eloquence, the rhetorical opportunity of being in a museum and carrying some kind of message, of which aesthetics is an important part. If that message will be memorable and actually effective. So we thought that this project should do something, what we thought it should do was produce its own climate, however symbolically, right? Because it's not tested, of course, because it will be in view during the fall and the winter this year. So far, so good, but it hasn't been that cold, and it takes advantage of solar radiation through greenhouse effect. There's an array of solar panels on the roof of the museum connected to the pavilion to feed a radiant floor ondule system underneath. And there is a kind of plan, but not fully realized because the museum didn't have budget, brain to the building that would control through artificial intelligence a number of devices, including the radiant floor, the fans, the 2 ventilation fans in the back, and a planned ventilation, and a planned called high volume, low speed, or something like that, fan in the ceiling, and then curtains. All of this planned as being a kind of automatic devices that would open and close, directed by a computer that would have some sensors and a thermostat. We worked with this for this project with the collaboration of some people, the former chairman of Arab in the United States, a mechanical engineer, and a company called Front Incorporated that specializes in facade design in Hong Kong, and also Professor Sebastian Sung, who is the director of the Samsung AI laboratory in New York, and he also directs a computational neuroscience institute in Princeton. So this is, we consider this to be a prototype. The mayor so visited our building. We consider this to be a kind of a preliminary number 1 prototype of a system that we intend to reproduce. One question that was asked was if this building is environmentally conscious, how come you're using so much plastic? Right? These spheres are polycarbonate. I think it's obvious to anyone who's thought about it that we will not let go of plastic, that, trying to replace everything that almost, I would say 100% of the things in this, well, maybe not 100%, but 90%, everything that is not metal in this room is probably plastic. It will cause, we think, more, and you tell us, more damage to the environment to try to let go of plastic than to use plastic consciously, in a sort of conscientious way. The very fact that we were forced to do this in plastic demonstrates that there's no alternative. And I think that there's the disposal of plastic that is the problem, and not so much plastic in itself. So these spheres are 90 centimeters in diameter, and they're made out of polycarbonate. And so besides the idea of bringing attention to the issue of the environment in an optimistic way, because proposing a machine is a way of saying, okay, if we get organized and we do something, perhaps we can turn this around. There are 2 parts of that equation that are the 2 parts that I noted, that I described in the beginning. One is a technical problem, and the other one is lining up the wills of everybody, right? Convincing people. So we were saying with Jennifer, well, it would have been a lot cheaper and easier for us to just put a greenhouse there and equip it with, certain, but it wouldn't have been noticed, right? This thing was noticed because it deployed a certain, we were lucky enough to come up with a sort of memorable conjunction that inspired imagination of people. And And then I think that it gives a very positive message, because when people encounter the unexpected that is convincing as a whole, it frees them from the feeling that they are trapped in an unpleasant reality. You know, it can inspire people to think, oh well, maybe I too can think of a solution to this shit. You know, and I come up with so. So there's two things, you know. On the one hand, it's sort of like the kind of attempt at a technical conjunction in whatever primitive way, but you know, there's an attempt. And then on the other thing is the intention of creating a memorable moment that would entice people to think about these issues and maybe try to do something themselves because they want to free themselves from a situation that is, you know, oftentimes eminently cynical. They say, well, you know, I can't do anything about this, so now I'm just going to carry on whichever way I've been carrying on, and that's going to be it. You know.
Okay.
The last thing is, this is a public space for public use. It comes with a website called perpetualspring.org, and anybody can propose an event of any kind as long as it's public and is approved by the museum, of which we are in charge. So if you are interested in doing something, having a lecture, an exhibition, a talk, a concert, dance lessons, simultaneous chess match, whatever you want, you fill that out, it comes to us, we negotiate with the museum, we get you a spot, and you can have that. There are certain rules, you know, you have to do it at the museum hours and so on and so forth. This is a concert, for example, that was done recently. And I think this is a description of what I was saying in the beginning, the climate correcting machine, you know, and all the systems that are involved. There's a lot to criticize here, but I think there's a good footprint to do something, you know, to develop this in the future in a way that might be interesting. And, you know, obviously there's sort of interaction between these domes and the sky and the sun are the only ornamentation that the building needs. It was done with the help of many people and companies in Seoul who donated the material for what was otherwise a rather modest budget. But, and then at night it also has its own distinctive different character. The kids love, of course,
The bubbles.
the bubbles. Thank you very much. Maybe we have time.